Okay, so AP Pre-Calculus students, we're on the end of week one. I hope you've had a good week getting started. There's kind of two big ideas here I want to get across is one, how important communication is going to be between me and you. And the second big thing here is I'm going to do a bit on how best to use AI to be successful in the course. So those are the two things here. You'll see most weeks I start with some pictures to focus this in. And so this one here, communication within the company is really bad according to this report. And why wasn't I told about this? So I always ask, I do surveys twice a year with a course towards the middle and or right around full break. So I have time to change things if I can. And at the end of the year, and I'm always kind of shocked at the end of the year when I hear some things written in the survey that nobody talked to me about. So if I can change something for you, I will. I can't change everything because the course page is not completely, I can't completely individualize it. So there's some things that have to be, but if you tell me what's going on with you, I do my best to really help you. Right? And you'll only know that if you try me. Right? I know it's easy to say, trust me, and they're like, I don't know you. And that could be very true. You don't know me, and you should be a little hesitant at whom you trust. But if you give me a chance, I think you'll see that I really do want you to be successful, and I do bend when I can. So I'm sorry if I'm communicating so difficult. Next time I'll read your mind. And this one, so you're telling me 90% of communication is nonverbal. It is so true. I don't know how many of you spend time with little children, but little children are excellent at reading nonverbal language. And they know when you say one thing and your body's saying another. I can give you such a concrete example. I'm standing at my work desk right now, and if I'm standing here, I can say whatever I want to my children, and they will not listen to me because my words are saying, go clean your room, but my body is saying, I'm paying attention to my computer, right? And if you notice in online learning, I don't get any nonverbal language, right? I don't get to see when you're frustrated. I don't get to see you learning. So we have to be really good at using words to say what we need. All right, so please tell me if something is very frustrating for you. Don't work too long till you feel like throwing your computer across the room. If something isn't working the way it is, just send me a message and I'll help you as fast as I can. If you really are working regularly, you'll see that I catch your patterns and I'll know when to expect questions from you. I work, like I think I've said in other places, I work from my house. I do lots of stuff at my house and my computer's on except when I'm sleeping. So I just keep it on, and when it dings, I attend to who needs help. So tell me when you need something. All right, what are we going to do for today? I just want to, one more time, you've had a week working with the course page, which is called Moodle, is just the program, and you've started to get on the College Board website. I want to just remind you here to send me questions. Use this assignment as a place where you can upload any questions you have about using those resources. I'm going to have you in a second here answer a few more questions for me so that you upload something to this assignment. If your textbook link hasn't worked or you're not able to access your textbook, tell me. If you can, say, yes, my textbook works. I'm going to show you what needs to be done for week 2. I want to go over my results because I'm very proud of the last 2 years' results. I'm going to share some tips that last year's students have left for you. And I'm going to quickly go over AI usage in the course, which will be a little bit quickly as I can. I'll probably talk too much. So introductions. So again, tell me any questions you have on Moodle on the course page, and make sure you tell me if your textbook links. But just one more time, when you upload this, tell me exactly what name you want me to use. I do my best. Sometimes I mess that up. If I use the wrong name, don't hesitate to tell me. I'm not going to be offended. Is there anything you would really like for me to know about you? Is there, of all the stuff you've shared in the first week, is there something else that you think will help me help you do well? All right, tell me. I know I'm going to like a class when. The best teacher I ever had was a teacher who, right? I can try to see if I'm doing those things or how I can best help you. When I think of spending my time doing math problems, I feel what? right? So for me, I feel like solving math problems has always been a puzzle. I like doing puzzles. It's an enjoyable feeling. For some people, it's not such an enjoyable feeling, right? And the best teacher I ever had was a teacher who kind of scared me at first, but really pushed me to do my best, right? The best teacher is not the one who always makes me feel good about myself. It was one who showed me my weaknesses and then, walked with me as we built up from those weaknesses. So my results, I've been very happy both years. 100% of the group has had a 3 or higher. Not big groups. I think this group was 5. Yeah, this group was 5. This group was another 5 or 6. So not big groups, but we've done really well together. So I hope that you will do well too. All right, tips from last year. Do your work on time, all right, so that you do lose points if you're working behind schedule, so make sure you're on time. This is a psychology one. Try to stick to my plan. Ask me lots of questions, right? I'll always answer them. I'm very happy answering questions. Again, on the don't get behind, schedule your time, write your notes to study, do a little bit each day. That's working on time, right? Have fun, don't procrastinate. A little bit of work every day. So if you review Algebra 1 and 2, it will seem less confusing. You also can tell me when something's confusing. I will help you. Work daily, organize your notes, do lessons every day. It's better than doing it all on the weekend. Do work every day, right? So you can see the theme here is breaking up the work over the course of the week. A little bit more. It's a little stressful, but it's easier than it looks. Spread the work out. There's a lot of work, but each one is doable, all right? I do divide stuff up into things I can think you can do in a day so that I'm not trying to have you work on the assignment for multiple days. There's only a few places where that happens, all right? I think it's always important for you or students to understand my philosophy of teaching and learning, because every teacher is a little bit different, and every student comes to the class with their own thinking about what a teacher is. My own children go to a Hungarian public school, and there's some teachers that they're just kind of afraid of, and they don't think the teacher really wants them to learn. They just want to give grades, and I'm not like that. I want you to be successful. I live my life by this philosophy: will the good of the other. I want the people in my life to be successful. And whenever my thoughts are on something other than their success, I know that gives me reason to think about why am I thinking, right? So if a student is not turning in work and they're late and they submit a whole bunch of work, and my thinking becomes like, oh, this student's not really doing a good job. Why should I put my efforts? I stop myself. Hey, you're not willing the good of the other. I believe students do the best that they can do under the situations that they're in, and everybody is in different situations. And so if you can approach me with the same idea that Mrs. Hinman wants me to do my best, and if you're thinking anything other than Mrs. Hinman wants me to do my best, then we should talk, because I don't want that to be your impression of the situation. I really do want you to do well. And I should have put some comments from students. Most students really feel by the end of the year that I have put a lot of effort into their success, and that this isn't just a job. I'm too old to just do work for money anymore. I see my time as limited, and I want to be using my time to do good things for others. So please keep that in your mind. This one is a little bit longer. I have a different presentation on AI usage. So let's switch to that other presentation here. Where did it go? Here it is. No, that's not it. There we go. All right. So, no. I have this in a better view up here. Here's where I have it. And we can present. So it looks nice and big on the screen. There you go. So AI assistants. So there's so many of these, right? Now, I'm not even going to try to name all of them. I tend to ask Grok questions, but I know other people are using ChatGPT. There's all sorts of different AIs that we can use. And my question to you kind of today is, right, and I would like you to kind of pause right now, stop the video, and answer this question. do AI assistance make your life easier and better, and kind of how? All right, and then when you're ready, hit start and share your answers with me. I'd like to see. All right, so my kind of questions is, can or should I use AI in my class, in my pre-calculus class? How, and if I am going to use it, how can I use it to help my learning and memory and not get in the way of my learning and memory? So we have this basic idea of memory, basic understanding. The things that make us a little bit scared build our memory. So when I'm taking a practice test or a test and I realize I don't know something, that makes me feel a little bit scared. And then when I finish the test and I see I didn't know it and then I study it, I'm much more likely to remember that, versus not feeling the fear because I have an AI assistant and I don't know how to do a test question and I quickly go and look it up. Then I probably feel a little bit guilty. I don't get this fear response and I don't remember it. All right, so you will see that you always can do test corrections, and that if you're not using an AI when you're doing practice tests, progress checks, assessments, you will remember it better. And the other part is that memory is like a muscle, right? And I don't build muscles by not doing anything. So if I'm never practicing, I'm never struggling a little bit in my practice, right? I don't know how many of you ever lifted weights, but it is that last set where I can barely push it up that builds my muscle the most. So when you're working on your questions in class, and as soon as you don't know something, you go and look it up, well, you didn't struggle at all. So I encourage you to struggle a little bit even while you're learning. And this is a pun. I used AI to generate this image. AI can be a lot of fun in these things, right? I said, create an image for me of somebody thinking they can look at a computer and get stronger, right? So this little scrawny guy, he's got his protein shake, he's watching the computer work out, and he's not getting any stronger, right? So if your goal is to build mathematics abilities, watching an AI do it on a computer and turning everything in that you didn't do isn't going to help you get better at math. And I think that's pretty obvious. All right. And what's really cool is I also teach psychology, so I love learning about how we learn. When we put two mice into mazes, if they go into a very easy maze, they never actually get faster at accomplishing the maze. They never form any memories when there is no struggle. When they go into a slightly harder maze, not too difficult, not something they can't accomplish, but when it's difficult and they have to put some effort into it, they actually get faster and faster at that maze because they're building long-term memories. So struggling a little while studying actually helps us learn better. So again, put the little bit of struggle in. Ask me questions before you turn to get fast help all the time. And remember, messing up is part of learning, right? An AI can't teach you how to ride a bike. You got to do it. You got to fall down. And if we think of the word fail as first attempt in learning, we see that we learn so many things by messing up. And mathematics is no different. I go the wrong path, I get it wrong, and then somebody helps me get it right, and I remember what I've done. And that brings me, again, I can't see you learning. We talked about that, but if you have a question, ask me. And you obviously can ask the AI, but you want to keep in your mind that AI doesn't know when it's wrong. And I can give you a very good example. Last year, a student was doing a presentation where they had to create a math problem, and all of us are trying to solve this math problem, and all of us are like, well, there's not enough information here to solve it, right? And the AI didn't even know that it had created an unsolvable problem. The other day I was converting a recipe, and I had a little bit more of something, and so I wanted to keep my proportions the same, and I could have just done the proportion myself, but I didn't. I asked, and it didn't make any sense to me. And I said, well, this answer doesn't make sense. And the AI is like, you're right, it doesn't make sense. And it corrected it, but it doesn't correct without your prompting. So you always need to make sure you're really understanding what's going on and not just trusting the output that you're given, because it's not always right? And that's why I encourage you to ask me whenever you need help. All right, now, if you are going to use it, there's specific ways in which you want to interact with an AI so that it does help you learn. It is an amazing tool. I'm working on learning Hungarian, and when I'm doing a lesson and I don't understand a grammar rule, I couldn't find those things on Google fast enough before. So I don't want you not to use these tools because they're fantastic when it has it right. But you need to interact in a way that isn't just about finishing your work as fast as you can. It's about learning and remembering it. So be specific and provide context. Vague questions get vague answers. Instead of asking, how do I do trig identities or help with polynomials, give the AI exact problem or concept. I need to solve, walk me through the steps, show the substitution method, like whatever it is you're working, right? You can even include the textbook. You can take a picture of it and say, this is what I'm trying to learn, help me understand it. All right, so specificity lets the AI deliver targeted explanations for what you need. So make sure you're specific with what you ask. 2, ask for step-by-step reasoning. So don't just ask for answers. Explain its thinking. Show alternative methods. Try, solve the rational inequality and explain each steps. How should I solve it graphically or with a sign chart? Why does that step work? What's the common mistake? You can follow up with the questions. Remember, if your goal is to build deeper understanding of why something works, right, that's going to help you more than just trying to memorize steps. And finally, use it as a thought partner. You can show it your work, right? So paste your attempt or take a picture of it, right? I tried factoring this cubic, but I'm not getting the right root. Here's my work. Put it in there. Where did I go wrong? How should I adjust? Or I understand end behavior, but I'm struggling with turning points. Can you generate 2 or 3 problems, right? You can put in a problem from the one of your lessons and ask for 2 or 3 more problems like it. These are ways that are going to help you learn. All right, these slides are for my psychology class, but this one is for here. I really want to see what you know when you take your quizzes, your progress checks, your assessments, and you work on your projects. I'm asking that you do not use AI when you do these assignments. All right, and if I can clearly see that you are, the assignment will be worth a 0, right? The first time I'll give you a please don't do this, and then after that, the assignment's just not going to be worth anything. And I don't tend to get in arguments with students. All right, it's pretty clear. I see a lot of student work every year, and I can see when it's not done by somebody your age. All right, and I'm not trying to catch you doing it. This is me. This is probably a good place for this last slide. All right, it's your brain, it's your test score, it's your life. I'm here to offer you direction, right? How are we going to be successful? Which way should we go next? I'm providing you lots of training and practice. If you need my help, I'm here to support and help you. If you're feeling like I can't do this, I'm going to get behind and I'm going to push you towards your goal, right? But I'm not here to catch everybody not doing their own work, all right? It's a very difficult time to be an online teacher because it's very hard for me to know when students are doing their own work and when they're not. And I want you to be successful on the AP exam. You will not have you will not have access to any AIs when you're taking the exam, and so you should practice being that, practice doing that, just like you would if you were, playing tennis or basketball or whatever. You would play and practice like you want to play in the game. All right, so what are you uploading that you watch this video? You're going to upload any questions you have for Moodle. You're going to tell me if your textbook works. We still need to go over next week's work, so we'll do that. You're going to maybe tell me your experiences with AI, right? Do you have a hard time not using it? Have you just said, okay, I'm not going to, tell me what's going on with you. Tell me how I can help you. You also have these few introduction questions, and let's briefly look at next week. All right, next week we really get into the lessons. So we're going to be on course week 2, and really this, you can read the overview. All right, this will get you, as long as you've logged into your textbook, this just takes you to your textbook. Note on the textbook, it's there as a resource. I'll put some extra questions from it, but all you need to do these lessons are here. All right, so everything is packaged within there. Remember, you need that number of points. So there's 4 lessons for next week, and then I will post the video for next week's lesson. So if you have any questions, let me know, and thanks for your attention.